Hello and welcome to World in 5. On Wednesday, government and representatives of public sector workers will meet for the first time this year at an Indaba set to lay the guiding framework of how public sector wages and conditions of living will be made better throughout the year. Already, civil servants will receive their $75 United States monthly risk allowance in cash, as will pensioners with their $30 allowances. In 2021, the government paid bonuses in US dollars. Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare Minister Professor Paul Mavima said, "We have our position, but I cannot disclose it to the press before we meet with the employees." He added, "Whatever the outcome, we shall go back to Cabinet where the issue will be discussed. As the employer, we have the best interests of the civil servants at heart." Workers say they're optimistic but cautious. Zimbabwe Confederation of Public Sector Trade Unions Secretary General David Zatsunga speaks.
What I could say is the taste of the pudding is in the, as they would say, as the adage goes. We are obviously cautiously optimistic because we still have to see what is in the kitty that they are going to bring, and we don't want to celebrate prematurely. So, like I said, we are cautiously optimistic.
Still with salaries, economist Dr. Prosper Chitambara believes improved salaries will boost aggregate demand.
Well, I think it's always right to take good care of your employees. I've always argued that when you do that, you are also ensuring there's sufficient aggregate demand in the economy, which is critical to ensure sustainable growth and development. And of course, that could also then affect macroeconomic stability, depending on how that will be financed.
Over 100 people have been left homeless across Zimbabwe after 300 houses were destroyed by heavy rains. The wet season has been characterized by violent rains and flash floods in various parts of the country. Schools and clinics have not been spared. The Department of Civil Protection says Masvingo, Matabeleland North, Matabeleland South, Midlands and all Mashonaland provinces are the most affected. Authorities also blame the disasters on properties built using substandard materials and poor workmanship. Department of Civil Protection Director Nathan Gomo speaks to ZTN.
Now that we have a fully fledged ministry responsible for housing and social amenities, I think they will come up with various strategies of ensuring that they showcase what the minimum standards of a rural homestead should look like. Remember, social amenities, because they are not being, they are not being maintained properly, they end up giving in to some of these vagaries of the weather. So maintenance is also an issue. Not only maintenance of social amenities infrastructure, but maintenance of our own houses before the rains come.
A 35-year-old man from Marimba, a suburb in Zimbabwe's capital Harare, appeared in court facing rape allegations. He is accused of bedding a 10-year-old. The court heard that on January 9th, the accused asked the complainant to escort him to a nearby bush to collect a parcel. Upon arrival, he laid the complainant on the ground and raped her while covering her mouth. When he eventually uncovered her mouth, she screamed and was rescued by a passerby, leading to his arrest. Harare Magistrate Yokai Zuda remanded him in custody to the 17th of January for his trial and advised him to approach the High Court for bail. A United States man has become the first person in the world to get a heart transplant from a genetically modified pig. Doctors say 57-year-old David Bennett is doing well 3 days after the experimental 7-hour procedure. The transplant was considered the last hope of saving Mr. Bennett's life, though it's not yet clear what his long-term chances of survival are. Doctors at the University of Maryland Medical Center were granted a special dispensation by the U.S. medical regulator to carry out the procedure on the basis that Mr. Bennett would otherwise have died. And that's all we had for you on World in 5. Thanks for watching.